Have you ever wanted to draw but didn't know where to start? Well, let's dive right into it. This guide is designed to help you navigate the exciting world of drawing. It's like your own personal roadmap to artistic expression, a journey we'll embark on together. We'll start with the basics, setting up your toolkit. No need for anything fancy, just the essentials to get your creative wheels turning. Then we'll delve into the core of drawing, lines. Lines are the building blocks of any piece of art, and understanding them is key. Next, we'll explore shapes and how they form the structure of your drawings. We'll also introduce you to shading, a technique that brings depth and realism to your work. And of course, we'll guide you through practicing these techniques because practice, after all, makes perfect. If you've ever felt lost in the world of art, this guide is for you. So, let's get started. Before we dive into techniques, we need to discuss tools. Now, when it comes to drawing, your toolkit is your best friend. It's like a chef's knife set or a carpenter's toolbox. It equips you with the essentials you need to create your masterpiece. So let's delve into the building blocks of a basic drawing toolkit. First up, we have pencils, the heart and soul of your toolkit. But not just any pencil. You'll need a set of drawing pencils. These aren't like your regular school pencils. They come in a variety of hardness levels, from hard and light to soft and dark. Each pencil creates a different intensity of line and shade, giving you the flexibility to create depth in your work. Next, we have erasers. Yes, we all make mistakes, and that's where erasers come in. A good quality eraser removes those unwanted lines without damaging your paper. There are various types of erasers, like the rubber eraser for heavy-duty erasing or the kneaded eraser for lightening lines and creating highlights. Then we have sketchbooks. This is where your ideas come to life. Sketchbooks come in all shapes and sizes, but remember, it's not just about the size. The quality of the paper matters too. Heavier paper can stand up to erasing and shading and won't easily tear. Last but not least, we have sharpeners. A good sharpener keeps your pencil sharp and ready to go. A dull pencil can make your lines look fuzzy and unclear. So to keep those lines crisp and clean, keep your pencils sharp. Remember, these tools are just the starting point. As you grow and evolve as an artist, your toolkit will too. You might find yourself adding blending stumps for smooth shading, or a set of fine liners for precise line work. The possibilities are endless. With these tools in hand, you're ready to embark on your drawing journey. So get your toolkit ready because next, we're going to explore the world of lines, shapes, and shading. Let's bring those sketches to life. Now that you're equipped, let's talk about the backbone of drawing, lines. Lines, you see, are the fundamental building blocks of any drawing. They are the first step on your journey to creating a masterpiece. Whether you're sketching a landscape, a portrait, or a still life, it all starts with a line. Lines can be bold or fine, straight or curved, simple or complex. They can convey movement, texture, and depth, or they can create boundaries, shapes, and forms. The magic of lines is their versatility. Let's dive into the different types of lines. Straight lines are the simplest. They're direct, they're clear, and they provide structure. Whether you're drawing the edge of a building or a horizon line, straight lines are your go-to. But don't let their simplicity fool you. Straight lines can be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, each bringing a unique dynamic to your drawing. Next up, we have curved lines. These are the charismatic charmers of the line family. They're all about flow and movement. Think of the gentle arch of a hill, the curve of a river, or the outline of a face. Curved lines bring softness and fluidity to your drawings. Then there are zigzag lines. These are the rebels, the rule breakers. They create excitement and tension. Zigzag lines are perfect for depicting things like jagged rocks, lightning bolts, or even the crinkles in a piece of fabric. Last but not least, we have broken lines, also known as dotted or dashed lines. These are the mysterious ones. Broken lines are great for suggesting texture or distance. They can hint at what's there without explicitly drawing it, leaving a bit to the viewer's imagination. As you can see, lines are more than just strokes on a page. They're a language, a way to communicate your vision to the viewer. So take your time with them. Practice drawing different types of lines. Experiment with their weight, their length, their direction. Mastering lines is the first step to creating any drawing. You're well on your way to developing your unique style and voice as an artist. So keep drawing, keep exploring, and most importantly, have fun with it. Lines are essential, but shapes give life to your drawing. Now let's dive into the world of shapes. Shapes are the building blocks of all drawings. They're the framework that holds our ideas, the structure that guides our lines. Let's start with the basics: the square, the circle, and the triangle. A square is a simple, four-sided figure with equal sides and right angles. It's sturdy, solid, and perfect for creating buildings, objects, or anything that requires a sense of stability. Next, we have the circle. A circle is a perfectly round shape without any edges or corners. It's smooth, seamless, and versatile. Circles can be used to draw faces, the moon, wheels, or just about anything that's round. The triangle, on the other hand, is a three-sided figure. It's dynamic and directional, giving a sense of movement and perspective. Use triangles to draw mountains, rooftops, or even to give a sense of depth to your drawings. But here's the magic. These basic shapes, when combined and manipulated, can create more complex figures. Think of it this way: a tree isn't just a rectangle and a circle, it's a collection of squares for the trunk, circles for the foliage, and maybe a few triangles thrown in for good measure. A human face isn't just an oval, it's a combination of circles for the eyes, a triangle for the nose, and a line for the mouth. So, as you draw, try to identify the shapes within your subject. Break it down into its most basic components. This technique is especially useful when you're drawing something complex. It simplifies the process and makes it more manageable. Remember, drawing is not about perfectly replicating what you see. It's about understanding the underlying structure and translating it onto paper. It's about seeing the world in a new way, a way that breaks things down into simple, manageable parts. Start seeing the world in shapes, and you'll find drawing becomes much easier. Now let's bring your drawings to life with shading. This is where the magic happens, where your lines and shapes start to pop off the page and take on a life of their own. Shading is a fundamental technique in drawing that helps to create an illusion of light and shadow. It's like adding the third dimension to your two-dimensional drawings. You see, when light hits an object, it doesn't hit all parts equally. Some areas are in direct light, others are in shadow, and some are in between. This variation in light and shadow is what we try to capture when we shade our drawings. By varying the darkness of our strokes, we can suggest that one part of a drawing is closer to the viewer, or that it's turned away from the light, or hidden in shadow. This is how shading brings depth and dimension to your art. There are various techniques you can use to shade your drawings. Let's start with hatching. This technique involves drawing parallel lines close together. The closer the lines are, the darker the shading. Next is cross-hatching. As the name suggests, it's simply hatching, but with another set of lines drawn across the first, creating a mesh-like pattern. This technique is great for creating a richer, deeper shade. Finally, we have stippling. This technique uses dots instead of lines for shading. The closer the dots, the darker the shading. Stippling can be time-consuming, but the effect can be quite impressive, giving your drawing a unique texture. Remember, the key to successful shading is observation. Look at where the light source is coming from. Observe how it interacts with the object and try to replicate that in your shading. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different techniques, combine them, and see what works best for your style. The more you practice, the more intuitive it will become. Shading adds depth and dimension, transforming your flat shapes into three-dimensional objects. So go ahead, shade away, and watch your drawings come to life. Drawing is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. You've probably heard this before, and it's undoubtedly true. The more you draw, the better you'll get. It's as simple as that. But how you practice can make a world of difference in your progress. Think of practicing drawing like going to the gym. You wouldn't try to work out every muscle in your body all at once, right? The same principle applies to drawing. Focus on one skill at a time. Maybe today you concentrate on line work, and tomorrow you explore shapes. This targeted approach can lead to more significant improvements in a shorter amount of time. Now let's talk about how often you should practice. It's tempting to say, I'll draw when I feel like it. But let's be honest, that's likely to result in less frequent practice. Instead, try setting aside a dedicated time each day to draw. It doesn't have to be a long period. Even 15 minutes to half an hour can make a difference if done consistently. Perhaps you're wondering what to draw during these practice sessions. Well, you can draw anything. But if you're stuck, try drawing from life. This could be as simple as sketching your coffee cup, or as complex as recreating a bustling cityscape from your window. Drawing from life helps develop observational skills, which are crucial for any artist. Last but not least, embrace mistakes. They are not your enemy, they are your teachers. When you make a mistake, don't just erase it and move on. Understand what went wrong and learn from it. This will not only help you improve, but also build resilience, a quality every artist needs in their journey. And there you have it, some tips to help you practice drawing effectively. But remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one person might not work for another. So experiment, adapt, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Remember, every artist was once an amateur. Keep practicing and you'll see improvement. Drawing can seem daunting at first, but with the right tools and techniques, anyone can learn. Over the course of this video, we've taken you through some of the fundamental steps to getting started in the world of drawing. We've explored the basic toolkit you'll need, from the right pencils and papers to erasers and sharpeners. Remember, the best tools are those that feel most comfortable in your hands. We've also delved into the nuts and bolts of line work, understanding that every line is a journey, a path that your pencil takes on the paper. Lines are the building blocks of any drawing, and with practice, you can learn to control their direction, weight, and length to express your ideas and emotions. Then, we ventured into the realm of shapes, those lines joining hands, forming boundaries, and creating recognizable forms. They are the basic units of composition, and getting comfortable with them can unlock a world of possibilities in your drawings. Next, we switched off some lights and stepped into the world of shading. Shading breathes life into your shapes, giving them depth, texture, and realism. It's like adding a third dimension to your two-dimensional world. And finally, we emphasized the importance of practice. Drawing, like any skill, improves with practice. Try to draw something every day. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be. So keep drawing, keep exploring, and keep expressing. Each line you draw, each shape you form, each shade you create brings you one step closer to finding your unique artistic voice. Remember, every artist was once an amateur. Every masterpiece was once a blank canvas. Drawing is not just about creating beautiful pictures. It's about seeing the world with new eyes, understanding it in new ways, and expressing your unique perspective. Embrace the journey of learning to draw. It's not about the destination, but the journey itself. Happy drawing.